Hi, I'm Mike. This is Metro Trails. I'm going to have an opportunity here to show you some interesting history around the little settlement of Buttsville, Warren County, New Jersey. Always the butt of many jokes, but I'll tell you a little something about it that's not Hot Dog Johnny's for a change. So, the settlement was founded by the Butts family in 1839. Here's the 1875 Buttsville United Methodist Church. Like most of these towns, it was just a small place, but we had a lot of transportation history here, just like most places all over Warren County and the rest of the state of New Jersey, being the crossroads of the Revolution and everything else going on. So there you got the church. Of course, that became a thing, a necessity for a community at that time, with the development of all the stuff that's around here. So this was even a historic site earlier on with the Monunka-Chunk Trail, which was the Aboriginal path that is now Route 46. It was turned into Route 6 later on. And this path you're looking here is the old main line of the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad, built in 1856. This is a grade crossing right here. And some of the historic photos show that it had some steps here at one time that led up between this spot. You got an eastbound and westbound connection to Route 46 right over here. And there were steps right between it. So they might have had a flag stop here at one time, probably in the earlier days. So the tracks crossed right over here. This section over here got excavated because it's the site of an environmental remediation. It's a fun site. So this was the first railroad through Buttsville, first one to cross Warren County, and the first one to open up the coal trade with Scranton when that came through in 1856. So it's been out of service here since 1970. Obviously, you can't put a trail through that; it's a giant mess there. We'd have to bypass it. And one of the reasons I'm taking this opportunity right now is 46 is closed over here for some reason. So normally this time of day I wouldn't be able to walk across it at all, but this gives us the unique opportunity to go across. This place over here is an old service station. You can see there, with those early 1900s service stations with an awning. No longer in service now. We're going to go across and down into where the other station used to be. So the Lackawanna came through first, and then in 1881 the Lehigh and Hudson River Railway came through. So this started out as a charter in the 1870s called the Peak West and Wallkill, but it came to be Lehigh and Hudson and some of the other locations that were going to be part of it ended up materializing as different railroads. So it's still a really cool little community. Route 46 bypass is what would have been the main road, and that's over there. This is Mill Street over here. And Lehigh and Hudson came into town, broke off of the Belldell line in Belvedere, and originally traveled up into the Warwick Valley of New York to terminate at the Erie Railroad main line up in Greycourt, New York. And then it was extended by 1886 to Maybrook, which made this a major piece of the Northeast Corridor for freight mainly. But it did carry passengers. And right here is where the Buttsville station used to stand. Right there, that is the station site. That was built in about 1880. It was in use until 1930, and then it was demolished, I think, in 1934. So we're here right on the grade crossing, and you see it's going through these yards straight ahead. We're standing right in the dead center where the tracks used to be. There were 2 tracks here coming up on the station, and over here there were also 2 tracks. So passenger service ended by about 1930, station demolished, but this line remained in service until the 1980s. The tracks weren't removed until 1986. It's very unfortunate because it was still a viable line, and the northern part of it was sold to the modern New York, Susquehanna, and Western, and they wanted to continue service all the way down to Belvedere, but they wouldn't allow it, so it got ripped up. And it's amazing that when that happened, it was not turned into a rail trail. Because after 1982, from 1983 on, it was supposed to all be rail banked if the line was ripped up, so they could get a certificate of interim trail use, similar to what they did on the High Line in New York, and then just leased it off as a trail in the interim, and they wouldn't have lost the right of way. But somehow that doesn't seem to have held with this, and I can't figure out why. Nobody seems to have an answer for me why this line was not preserved as a contiguous corridor. I think legally it should have been. Maybe it is. Maybe it warrants further research, but I just don't have that yet. Interestingly, what we're looking at right here, all this over here, there's no signs on or anything, but this is state parkland. The state parkland continues from where I'm standing, westbound, all the way across the deck girder bridge behind Hot Dog Johnny's and out to a point around where old Quarry Road that went to the Edison Quarry crosses it. That's all public land. Even though this is all mowed as backyards over here, that is also state parkland. But we're gonna walk around here on Mill Street. It's not a contiguous route. This is a little bit more of a through route than it ever used to be, because the original main road, Buttsville Road, over here at the next crossing coming up, that was a separate crossing from that one, and this was not an important real corridor here because that was the through route. And so there were so many train accidents, trains versus cars, at the grade crossing that they cut it off to all through traffic. And it would actually be a smarter way to route traffic now, although this might serve as a traffic calming device at this point. But it's a beautiful little road to walk on. So if they had to, they put a trail through here, this wouldn't be a bad bypass. But right up to where this next grade crossing was, the closed off one, it is actually state park owned. So anyway, the right of way from there on, though, remains in private ownership, at least for the time being, as of 2025. So we come over here, and you can see right about where that barrel is straight ahead. That's sitting in the middle of the right of way. And this is the grade from where we just were coming in through behind these houses, overgrown at this point. And it went through right here. There are several historic photos taken at this spot of trains going by. Popular rail fan spot. So, pretty cool. And you got this beautiful through truss bridge right here. This was built in 1902. Prior to the construction of this bridge, there was a beautiful stone arch here. So I suppose it got flood damaged or something, or maybe they wanted to widen it. I don't know exactly all of the details of all that. But the Peak West River through here is absolutely beautiful. And then there's the retaining wall on the right of way you can see right here. So very nice spot. So hopefully one day we'll have a through greenway on that. And then the Lehigh and Oxford Railroad used to cross over this road just up here. And the abutments for that are still in place across the road just up ahead. So anyway, this video is long enough, so I'm not going to walk all the way over that way, but there's that bridge, and that's a little bit more history of what used to be in Buttsville, New Jersey. Thanks always for watching.